If you are inclined, please rise for the invocation followed by the pledge. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in the city of Aiken the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. In your name we pray. Amen. Chief, will you please lead us in the pledge?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before the meeting begins, I will review the guidelines. Meetings are public forums in which many opinions are expressed, and the business of the city must be conducted. As such, discipline, honorable, and professional decorum is paramount. Courteous and respectful communication is required. There should be no disruptions from the floor while council members or members of the public are speaking. Anyone wishing to speak must be recognized so that we can retain order as we conduct the business of the city, and all comments can be put into the public record. During public hearings, all questions and statements from the public shall be directed to the chair. If you wish to speak, raise your hand and I will recognize you. Please approach the podium and state your name and address. In order to allow an opportunity for everyone who wishes to address council, speakers should limit their comments to the subject being discussed. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to address an issue and may only address an issue once unless questions from council are posed to the speaker. During the non-agenda public comment section, each speaker has 3 minutes and can only speak once. We now move to additions and deletions to the agenda. I recognize Mayor Pro Tem Ed Girardeau for this agenda item.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Glad you made it through the rain and got here. And since I planted trees this weekend, I'm glad it's raining, because it was a pain to water them once I realized I had them. So, good to do that. Mayor, there are no additions or deletions to tonight's agenda, so I present this as a motion.
Thank you, Councilman. A second from Councilwoman
I second that, Madam Mayor.
Broll. All those in favor? Thank you. There are 2 presentations on the agenda tonight. The first is a proclamation for White Cane Day. Councilwoman Broll, will you read the proclamation into the record, please?
Yes, I'd be happy to, Madam Mayor. Whereas White Cane Day was first established on October 15, 1964 by President Lyndon Johnson and has since become an annual day of observance to raise awareness about the blind community and their invaluable contributions to our nation. And whereas the white cane is a vital tool and a symbol of independence for individuals who are blind or have low vision, enabling them to navigate freely and safely and fully participate in and contribute to our society. And whereas it is essential for all citizens to be aware that the law requires motorists and cyclists to exercise caution when approaching a blind person carrying a white cane. And whereas the City of Aiken commends state and local agencies, nonprofit organizations, businesses, and individuals who work tirelessly to promote awareness and inclusion for people with disabilities. And whereas every Aikenite can play a role in creating a more accessible and inclusive society by becoming an ally, an advocate, and a supporter of individuals with disabilities, promoting equal opportunities and ensuring their voices are heard in decision-making processes. Now, therefore, I, Teddy Milner, Mayor of City of Aiken, and the Aiken City Council do hereby officially proclaim and acknowledge October 15th, 2025 as White Cane Day in the City of Aiken.
Thank you. Is Mr. Jensen Jennings here?
Funny. So,
Right, I know. I see her.
the baby.
We'll wait for him.
he's going to get my other blind friends.
Oh, good. We'll wait.
Okay.
Shall we wait? Yeah. Shall we wait, Mayor? Shall we wait?
Yes.
I'm up here? Okay. Well, Mr. Brown, you want to stand by my side while we wait for this? Yeah. All right.
We're going to come forward.
I'm so sorry, y'all. Good afternoon, evening, council. We just, the realities of persons with disabilities transferring or getting from one place to another is a Herculean task at times. And but we have some amazing volunteers to assist us. So, Mr. Brian Mosley is right here with me. And
Hello, how are you all? Great.
And I have to your left, Brian, is Madam Mayor Taylor, and then to your right is Madam Mayor.
Nice to
My
meet you.
pleasure.
Straight ahead.
Oh, all right. You brought a whole group.
Yes, we wanted to. Stage right here. Todd, you want me to come forward?
Yep, we wanted to show our appreciation.
Oh.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing? What's your name?
My name is Kay Broll.
I'm Barbara Tootle. Ashley Ennis. I'm Paige Carlisle.
Beautiful people.
Thank
And Jensen, I didn't have Jensen.
Good to see you. How you doing?
This is your new baby.
Yeah, that's a new boy. That's
Get at it, the team.
Get a picture, right? So turn around.
just turn around.
Very towards the sound of my voice. That was great. Good job.
I'll be behind you. Congratulations. Well, you go.
Oh, I can. But I need big smiles.
All right,
Two.
you got it.
3. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Jensen, we want to see the baby.
Oh, okay. Well, how about the beautiful wife?
That, congratulations to both of you.
Well, yes, this is Mr. Atticus and David Jennings. Look, almost 4 months old now, so.
What a handsome little guy.
I just wanted to extend a moment of gratitude to each and every one of you. I know some of you are about to roll off. I wanted to thank you all for your service because I know being a public servant is sometimes a thankless job. So I just wanted to take the time to thank you all for that, but also the importance of making sure that we continue to think of, I think sometimes we get lost in buzzwords and buzz concepts. A lot of people think of, you hear somebody talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And people think, oh, that's such a proverbial boogeyman. But the Americans with Disability Act is what nowadays we would constitute as DEI. So not every DEI initiative is good, nor is it bad. So as we go in and we make policy, I think we need to take time to reflect on that some things like equity is a great thing. Stuart, you and I might, we go to USC Aiken, hypothetically. We're students, right? We're sitting there, we're both in, and we can only get the 4th row back. Let's say like you got 20/20 vision, and I don't, but we both have the academic capacity to learn. And so when my glasses are an example of equity. So when I go into the classroom, having glasses allows me to have the ability to learn just as if somebody who can see perfectly fine, which is the only difference maker. So, the celebration of White Cane Day is a day to just know that there are people out there who are blind and who are making tremendous contributions to the society. And if you invest in them in the final analysis, you will, I believe, come out with a high yield on return of good citizens and economic drivers. Miss Paige Carlisle, I want to just give her a real quick second, if that would be okay. She's the National Federation of the Blind's CSI chapter president. Miss Paige, can I come and give you my arm right quick? If my wife allows it. All right, Miss Paige. All right, thank you. And the microphone's straight ahead of you, so.
All right.
There you go.
Thank
And it'll pick it up.
Okay, on behalf of the National Federation of the Blind, I would like to say thank you. And the purpose of the white cane is to symbolize our independence. And basically, all we would like to say is respect the cane. When you see us walking, there are do's and don'ts. One of the main things we don't like for you to do when you see us with the cane is do not pick up the cane and start grabbing us or take it directly out our hands. And once again, I would like to say thank you. And on behalf of the National Federation of the Blind, Augusta CSRA chapter, we all once again would like to say thank you, and thank you.
Thank you all.
I skipped the minutes, so I'm going to go back to that before we go to the update from Harper. The minutes were provided to council for review prior to the meeting. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes?
So moved, Madam Mayor. I second.
Thank you. That was
Ed.
Councilman Waltz and Councilwoman Diggs made the second. I
made the motion.
I've got a change for the minutes, and that is on our last meeting, October 13th, 2025. In the work session, we have the city council present, the mayor, councilman members Broll, Diggs, Gerardo, Price, and Waltz. It was listed absent Councilwoman Gregory. That is not correct. Councilman Gregory came in after the meeting began, the work session began. Thank you. You're very welcome. All those in favor? Thank you. Now back to the second presentation. It's an update from Harper General Contractor on the Shaws Creek Water Treatment Plant progress. Mr. Biedenbow.
Thank you. We do have our quarterly update on the water plant. It's coming along very well, and we're excited to have the update from Harper.
Thank you and good evening.
Thank you. Good evening.
So I'm going to give a quick update on the progress out there at Gun Range Road. If you've seen it from the road, you can see there's a lot of things happening, a lot of structures going up, and we're right at 40% complete with the job. So we'll flip through the presentation here. So just a quick agenda. We're going to go through from July 2025, last time I was here giving a presentation, and now give you a comparison, some key accomplishments, milestones upcoming, and then progress photos. At Harper, we always like to start our agendas or meetings with safety first. All of our owner meetings, engineers meetings, we like to start out with a safety minute. I just wanted to show y'all here that this was safety training that we did on the job site, fall protection training. I know a lot of times we look at pretty pictures and some drone photos and really cool things, but it's neat to just see a picture with all the guys that are actually putting in the hard work. It was a hot summer for a lot of these guys. Weather's changed now, but just to give you a couple of facts, so as of Friday, this past Friday, we had 65,000 man hours, and there was 22 trade partners that have been on site, and there will be about 20 more trade partners that will come on the site with those 22 to finish out the project before it's done. So comparison from July 2025, You can see on the left side of the screen was a drone photo taken then, and then on the right side is what's going on now. You can see the site's really taking shape. Clearly the thing you see first is the 2 clear wells that are now topped. One has been leak tested, and the other one is in the progress now. So the treatment structure concrete being complete, that's a big milestone for us. The concrete's poured out. That's your heart of the plant. So there's a lot that goes into that. You see a small portion of the concrete. There's a lot underground, but that's now done as far as the structural concrete. The in and under for the water treatment plant and admin and chemical building, that's on the right side of this photo. I'll get a better photo later to show you that. Clearwell and high service pump stations are now complete. The utility building, the masonry is done, roof is done. We have a photo of that as well. And then the intake pump station on the other side of Highway 1 has now started. So treatment structure, this is a pretty neat picture. It shows you kind of the whole treatment process. Over here to the left, the small box is where the water will enter. That's your rapid mix. It goes through your flocculation, then your sedimentation, and then your 5 filters at the end before it leaves the treatment process. On the back end, back here is where your bulk chemical tanks will be, and then they'll all feed into the chemical building up here on the top. So now that that is complete, you really see kind of the flow and the process through. Next phase, and I'll get into this to a little bit, is a lot of the equipment that goes into it will be installed by the next quarter. Clear wells and high service pump stations. So these are 2 1 million gallon clear wells each. And like I said, the one on the right, number 2, has now been tested and passed. The one on the left is currently being filled. That should be tested and done this week. So you see some backfill around these clear wells, which we've started to do. Utility building. So masonry is complete. The roof is now on, and that's done. Coming up, we'll have windows and doors. All the HVAC and electrical rough ends is completed in that building as well. So upcoming milestones for the next quarter. The intake pump station, the concrete of that will be complete. I'll show you a photo in a second of where we're at with that. The admin, the chemical buildings, both dried in. We actually are pouring those slabs next week. And then the equipment and the pumps, utility building, storm drain, and storage building slabs. There's 2 storage buildings over at the utility building. Here's a few progress photos. It's a little hard with the shade, but you can see there's some sheet piling all the way around that for that excavation. We have dewatering in place around that, and then we're working down the subgrade for the new pump station. The building to your right here is your existing pump station now.
That little building down in the corner? The little building down in the corner?
This is your existing pump station?
Right, and that's
Then
brick,
your new
correct?
one- your new one will go in this hole here.
Okay,
Once
thank
we're
you.
done with it, so.
Thank you.
And then this is the back end of your treatment structure, the chemical tank farm. Some of this concrete has already been poured. These photos are about 2 weeks old, but this whole area here, the next quarter, we're gonna have the tanks will be delivered. They'll be set in place, and a lot of the plumbing will be done for those.
It's okay, I can look it up.
Flash mix, so this is looking down your treatment structure from the flash mix. And you can see we've got some Thorosil rubbing on the walls. We take the concrete when it's formed up. You see on the far right here, you can see the rectangles of forms. But this is when it's a finished product. We spray it, kind of look at more. It looks more cohesive in the end.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, please.
What is the height of the areas of this structure, and what is the depth? I'm just curious because whenever I look at it, I always wonder that, and I never ask.
Sure. So this area here, like this structure, if you could walk up to it, This is probably 12 foot from this slab, and that's the high end of the structure. So on the very back side back here, it's about 22 foot from the top down.
Okay.
So, and then this will be backfilled up to right under where you see this cantilevered slab here, and all of this will be backfilled around. There'll actually be a road that runs right here when we're finished.
And what's the depth? Is it really deep into the ground or not really?
The structure's 22 feet. The pipe under it, you probably up to 26 by the time you get, because there's 24-inch pipe that's under that.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
that's probably the, and this was built kind of in a hill. So when we started, there was this hill there. So we utilized that hill to be able to build into it instead of having to dig a 26-foot hole.
Okay.
Can I ask you, on the one before this one, the chemical tank farm,
Yes, ma'am.
so is that where you add any chemicals or things that need to treat the water?
It will be. This is the bulk chemical will stay here, and then inside your chemical building, you'll have day tanks. And it's just, you transfer from the bulk tank to the day tank. And then you'll store, depending on the chemical, a couple of months, maybe up to 6 months.
Okay.
So that's where all that'll be housed. So there'll be piping running along this wall, carrying everything to your chemical building.
Thank you.
So here's a better look at your chemical building will be here. This is where your day tanks and the chem feed pumps will be housed. Your on-site hypo, this generation, hypo generation, so taking salt and making it chlorine. That will be in this location, this sump. And then your admin building is located here for the water treatment plant. These two slabs, like I said, will be poured next week. So that's really going to start taking shape. So overall schedule, original contract, 791. We had a few weather days, but as of right now, we haven't, really pushed to get additional days because we're holding strong to that, to that February 8th completion. We are 40% complete, maybe 40 to 41% complete. And our goal is that we are producing water by the end of 2026. So.
And how are we with the budget?
Yeah. I was going to say, we're on time. Are we on budget?
Yeah, we're on time and we're on budget.
All right.
Well,
All right.
Thank you.
yes, sir.
Looks
Thanks a
like
lot.
you're a little bit farther along, though. I was sort of hoping it would be before February 2027, but
We are.
we're waiting patiently.
That's right. There's a lot of equipment that goes into that. It's interesting. You get when you build these plants, you see a lot of concrete going up, and you feel like you're pretty close to the end. But really getting in there and installing the equipment and going through testing, it takes a lot of time and effort. So we will enter kind of a startup phase sometime August, but that's how long it takes to start up a plant this size. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick.
We will now open the floor to public comments on non-agenda items. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker and for a total of 30 minutes. Yes, sir.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Lex Perry, 1526 South Boundary Avenue, Southeast. I just want to quickly give you an update on our C4 Impact Bridge housing. Things are going really well. We currently have 3 spots open. We are housing 16 people currently, including children. We have children there as well. We were able to update some things and move things around so that we can accommodate that. Of course, we're still making efforts to acquire more apartments so that we can house more folks. The weather's changing, and so we are getting more phone calls. At the moment, we cannot meet all of the calls that we're getting. We're looking and seeking to build more relationships with other developers or landowners or apartment managers so that we can connect with them and house the folks. We will have a warming station this winter so that we can help folks get off the street for a little while. And also because it's going to also give an opportunity to do laundry, which we have there as well, take a shower, provide clothes and those type of things in connection with our local churches that are already providing these things as well. We are seeing a lot of the silos coming down, which is what Pastor Kurt was here. We talked about that before, where the church community, the faith community is coming together more and more. So we just praise God for that. That's happening. And of course, those of us in the community itself is rallying around. I'm really grateful for folks who are coming to visit to see exactly what we're doing. We know that transitional housing doesn't always get a good, it's always taken not in the best way sometimes. However, if you're anybody at any time is invited to come and see exactly what we're doing with the bridge housing. It is not what you might think. It is truly giving people a hand up, and it's working. It is working. So again, I want to thank you all for the support that you've given us in order for us to start this initiative. It is taking a firm, it has a firm foundation, and I do believe it's going to grow, and I think it's going to have quite an impact within Aiken itself, and I'm hoping that it'll catch on and other organizations will actually join us and do the same thing. It's not about any one organization. We have a huge problem to solve, and with the winter months, we're going to see a lot more people with this need. It's not going to go away, okay? And with a lot of things that are going on, which I won't bring up, but you are all aware of it, it's going to create even more. And the folks are going to come here to Aiken because the resources are here, and that doesn't drive homelessness or anything like that, but people are going to come here, and you know what? We need to step up and provide that help. Aiken does a wonderful job of the hearts that are there, so let's not look at it in a negative light. We are doing a great job, and I think that we can continue to solve. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Today we had 2 homeless people in our health center, and they're not associated with each other. One young female, and one middle-aged male. And the female came in early this morning. She slept in our building all day, just over by the pharmacy, covered herself up with a blanket. The guy came in after lunch, and I left at 5, and he was still there.
Yeah.
I meant to reach out to Salvation Army, Michael Good, to see if he had any suggestions as to where we could direct them during the day, because they can't just come there to sleep.
Right.
Do y'all have a place for them?
We're actually working on that. We don't have a facility per se set up. Where we are, we have one of the apartments that we've designated for people during the day. Like I said, the weather's bad or cold or whatever, or extremely hot. We did the same thing during the summer for them to be able to come in out of the extreme cold or hot. And it also gives us a touch base to find out what it is that they actually need. Because if you don't get to the root of what the issue is, we're never gonna, we're not gonna solve it. So we take that opportunity to really find out what's going on, and then we start walking through the steps of what they need. Because, like I said, it'll take too much long to explain it in this time frame. But you can direct them to us, and we'll get them started on that journey where they need to go.
Now, the female did admit that she had been a meth user, and her kids were taken away, and she can't go back to the shelter for 90 days.
Right.
So I don't know what to do in a situation like that.
There is a lot we have to solve, but the first thing we need to do is to sit down and find out where her mindset is. If she's determined, she's made that determination that she's going to stop with the substance abuse, we can start to help her. But that's the first decision that she's going to have to make, and make sure we have the proper connections for her and the support that we need. But we don't turn anybody away.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did I see someone? Did I see someone raise their hand over there? Anyone else want to speak? Okay. Thank you. We will now move to approval of the consent agenda. Mr. Biedenbow, will you please read the titles of the items on the consent? consent agenda into the record.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. We have two items tonight. A resolution authorizing the acceptance of a deed of dedication from Wellers Ridge SC LLC and an ordinance to remove property owned by the city of Aiken from the corporate limits of the city of Aiken. And that's our consent agenda this evening, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion?
I so move, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Broll made the motion.
I
Second, Mayor? Oh,
That's a second from Councilwoman Gregory.
She did it.
Thank you. Since the consent agenda does not have a comment, we will go straight to a vote. All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. We now have approval and discussion of appointees to various city boards, committees, and commissions. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have the two reappointments and a new appointment today. We have, two appointments and one reappointment. Reappointment of James R. Finley to the Building Code Appeals Committee. And the two new appointments are Dorena Boost to the Accommodations Tax Committee and Fred Kidd to the Senior Commission.
Is there a motion to accept these?
I so move, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Broll. Thank you. And a second from Councilman Waltz. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? All those in favor? Thank you. Thank you. We now move to new business. We have several items under new business tonight. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
it's okay.
Appointments, did you have? Go ahead.
We missed some.
Madam Mayor, I have two reappointees. One of them is Charles Matthews to the Planning Commission, and the other is Scotty Myrick. And Scotty serves on the Community Development Committee for our next public reading.
We move to new business. We have several items under new business tonight, and the first is first reading of an ordinance to rezone a parcel at the corner of Abbeville Avenue Northwest and Allison Street from general business to residential multifamily low density. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. It is an ordinance amending the zoning of real estate located at Abbeville Avenue Northwest and Allison Street Northwest from GB General Business to RML Residential Multifamily Low Density. The applicant is requesting this rezoning. The comprehensive plan future land use map designates this property as residential, so it fits in with that. The intention is to develop the property for a duplex. The existing land use pattern of the immediate area is residential, but the current zoning of GB restricts the use for residential. So by rezoning this property, it would allow the intended residential use by the applicant. Those present at the Planning Commission at their October 15th meeting unanimously recommended that the parcel be rezoned from general business to residential multifamily low density, and is before you for first reading this evening.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Councilwoman Gregory made the motion.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to second that motion if you don't mind.
Councilwoman Price, second the motion. Any comments from the public? Any comments from the council? Oh, sorry. Come on, right.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. It wouldn't be like me not to say anything about my project if I'm in the audience, so I decided to just discuss it. But yeah, so it's in the Tool Hill neighborhood that we've been actively redeveloping. And I apologize to the crowd. I'm Ahmad McHale. I stay at 100 Majestic Oak Way, Aiken, South Carolina. But we definitely love the north side of town, and we think that dignified housing is deserving on that side of town. And it is my plan to develop a duplex. As I approach the street, you look to the left, look to the right, look ahead, behind you, it's all residential. So, you know, we think that a duplex would enhance the character of the community, and it's a great fit. I'll be happy to answer any questions from council or public, if given the permission to.
Ahmad, is that the beautiful home that I visited? Well, you already sold that.
I don't sell real estate. What I do is I guess enhance the character of the district and provide adequate housing or a good housing.
But is that one gone?
Ma'am?
Is that one gone, or is it still available?
It's rented. It's rented.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
You did good.
Ahmad, I just want to comment that we've already seen the example of your contracting work. Mm-hmm. That location that you built that home is exemplary. We look forward to seeing what this new development that you're headed towards will bring the same things, and we have no doubt, given your not only abilities, but your consciousness of doing it right the first time.
Yes, ma'am.
So we look forward to that. Thank you for
You're quite welcome.
understanding what this neighborhood needs.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Price, for
welcome.
I'm flattered by the comments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmad.
Are there any other comments from the council members? All those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. Next is first reading of an ordinance to annex a parcel at the intersection of Abbeville Avenue Northwest and Perrin Street Northwest and zone it residential multifamily low density. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. It is an ordinance to annex property located at the intersection of Abbeville Avenue Northwest and Perrin Street Northwest and zone the same RML residential multifamily low density. The applicant has requested annexation of this approximately 4,700ths of an acre parcel. This is being requested so that the entire parcel is inside the city limits. Currently, it is split between the city and county jurisdiction. This comprehensive land use and transportation plan future land use map assigns residential use to the area. Those present at the Planning Commission's October 14th meeting unanimously recommended it be annexed and zoned RML, residential multifamily low density, and it's before you this evening for first reading.
Madam Mayor, this is another one besides a development in the district that I represent, and I'd like to move that we adopt this on first reading.
I second.
Next is first reading of an ordinance to annex 1411 and 1413 Silver Bluff Road and zone them limited business. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. It is an ordinance to annex property located at 1411 and 1413 Silver Bluff Road and zone the same LB limited business. The applicant is requested annexation of the two parcels. It is surrounded by multiple parcels within the city limits. There's an office and a stable on the properties. The parcel at 1411 Silver Bluff Road contains approximately 1.65 acres, and 1413 Silver Bluff Road contains approximately 2.01 acres. The proposed zoning is limited business. Those present at the Planning Commission with one abstention or recusal unanimously voted to annex the property and to the city and zone it limited business. And this is before you this evening for first reading, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Councilwoman Gregory made a motion, and the second from
Second.
Councilman Girardeau. Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. The next item is first reading of an ordinance to annex 12 Janet Road and zone it residential single family. Mr. Beedenville.
Thank you. This is an ordinance to annex 12 Janet Road, property located at 12 Janet Road, and to zone the same RS-15 residential single family. It is approximately 4,700ths of an acre, and zoning is consistent with the surrounding uses and property. Those present at the Planning Commission's October 14th meeting unanimously recommended it be annexed and zoned RS-15 residential single family. It's before council this evening for first reading, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Again, is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilman Girardeau made the motion.
And I'll second, Madam
A
Mayor.
second from Councilwoman Brohl. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Our next item is first reading of an ordinance to annex 219 Silver Bluff Road and zone it limited business. Mr. Beedenville.
Thank you. This is an ordinance to annex property located at 219 Silver Bluff Road and to zone the same limited business. It is approximately 2,100ths of an acre. It contains a massage therapy business. Those present at the Planning Commission's October 14th meeting unanimously voted to annex the property and zone it limited business. I do point out in the agenda packet, there is a note from the applicant, bless you, that, or excuse me, yes, from the applicant that would like to rescind the application. But again, due to our water and sewer policy that was adopted in 2016, property that is contiguous to the city limits of Aiken and that is residential or commercial that is not being passed to a surviving spouse and is not industrial, if water and sewer access is available, it is required to be annexed or to come to council for consideration for annexation. So I do want to just note that the applicant did put a note dated October 7th that is in the packet, but I also wanted to describe why the property is in front of council for consideration. Thank you.
Madam
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, if I may. Mr.
Yes.
Beedenville, and this property was sold recently, correct?
Yes, it was sold. It was transferred.
Triggered the
Exactly, that triggers it when a property is sold or transferred. If it is not, unless it's a surviving spouse, our water and sewer ordinance requires, or service agreement requires it be annexed into the city if it's contiguous and has access to water and sewer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that clarification. Is there a motion?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Brohl made the motion and a second from
Second.
Councilwoman Gregory. Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? All those in favor? Thank you. Next is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to annex 38.9 acres located on Edgefield Highway, Williams Lane and Union Church Lane, zone it planned residential and approve a concept plan. Mr. Beedenville.
Thank you. This is an ordinance to annex property located on Edgefield Highway, Williams Lane and Union Church Lane, and to zone the same planned residential and approve the proposed concept plan. This is approximately 38.9 acres, and the applicant has requested annexation and approval of a concept plan. Since it is larger than the required or the minimum acreage, it must comply with planned residential zoning, which requires a concept plan. This plan calls for a 131 lot single family residential development Lots ranging in size from 5,875 to 8,375 square feet, with a proposed density of 3.37 lots per acre. Lot sizes will range from 47 feet wide to 67 feet wide. The minimum square footage is anticipated to be plus or minus 1,500 square feet, and we're only talking about the heated space portion. The exterior building material will be fiber cement siding or vinyl siding with vinyl and or shake trim and stone or brick accents for all buildings. Each unit will have a minimum of 2 off-street parking spaces via driveway spaces or a garage. There will be about 7 acres of common open space. A 20-foot perimeter buffer will be provided along the exterior of the property where lots abut adjacent residential properties. A parking lot has been provided for clustered mailboxes near the front entrance. An emergency access will be provided near lots 49, 50, and 132 for emergency vehicles to access the site via Union Church Lane if necessary. Amenities will include a walking trail, dog park, and a dog park which will be owned and maintained by the Homeowners Association. The sewer and water will be installed according to city requirements. The development will contain public roads and will be built to City of Aiken specifications. Street lighting will meet the minimum requirements of the city. The common ground will be owned and maintained by the Homeowners Association. The proposed site will use on-site stormwater management ponds to meet Aiken, City of Aiken, and South Carolina Department of Environmental Services requirements. The detention pond and stormwater management system will be owned and operated by the HOA. The developer is requesting a waiver from section 4.2.6.E.2 requiring 20-foot separation between multi-story buildings to allow the separation to be 15 feet, again, for the multi-story buildings. The concept plan depicts public entrances to the development from the Edgefield Highway and Williams Lane. Both entrances will have landscape medians with development signage and sidewalks required along one side of the street. Those present at the Planning Commission unanimously voted to recommend that the property be annexed and zoned planned residential and approval of the concept plan with the following conditions. First, that the subdivision comply with the minimum building separation standards of the zoning ordinance per the building inspector and fire marshal recommendation. Second, that the subdivision entrances have monument signs no larger than 32 square feet in area and no taller than 6 feet in height. 3, that traffic calming elements such as speed tables be provided around the midway points of the 2 longest roads to reduce traffic speeds on the neighborhood streets. 4th, that a traffic study is reviewed and approved by SC DOT and the City of Aiken's traffic consultant, and all recommended traffic improvements and identified safe streets for all traffic and or pedestrian safety measures are installed by the developer. 5th, that the applicant submit a revised concept plan for administrative staff review incorporating the conditions of approval. 6th, that the applicant sign an agreement stating that the conditions of approval within 180 days for recording at the Register of Deeds office. 7th, that a 6 foot tall solid fence be constructed along the western boundary between the 30-foot wide gas easement and the front setback of lot 110 facing Williams Lane as shown on the concept plan. 8, that separate left turn and right turn lanes be installed on the proposed street egress to Edgefield Highway subject to DOT approval. And 9th, that should the proposed wet pond not qualify as an amenity pond, the open space shall be reconfigured to comply with the required minimum 20% open space. This is before council this evening for consideration at first reading, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I so move, Madam Mayor. Sorry. I'm sorry, did you?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Councilwoman Brohl made the motion.
I'll second that motion, but I'll make the statement later.
Okay. Councilwoman Price, second the motion. Comments from the public?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. My name is Kurt Hanna. And I live at 134 Marion Street Northeast. I'm a happy resident of the lovely town of, or city of Aiken. And so I am helping with this development. I do want to point out a few things. First off, on the requirements, I want to kind of start from the bottom up. Number 8 says that we need to have separate left and right turn lanes installed on the proposed street egress to Edgefield Highway, and obviously subject to DOT approval, which makes sense. However, our concern is if that is a requirement, but then the DOT does not allow it, we could have issues and be back before you, and it could hold up the development to try to get this removed. So, you know, what we prefer to ask for is just that if the DOT requires it, we'll do it. But we don't want to require something on us when we don't know if the DOT will even approve it. There is some concern, you know, with right and left turn lanes when someone's trying to turn right and there's a car sitting here. You know, historically it has been known that sometimes people pull out to the right and they can't see the traffic coming because this car is sitting here. So we're perfectly fine if that's what we need to do for the DOT. We're just asking that it not be a requirement that we do it, whether the DOT approve it or not, you know? So we'd like to have basically that removed and kind of grouped up into the requirement for a traffic study, which is going to happen, and any requirements to follow DOT regulations. So that number 8 was placed on us at the Planning Commission. Historically, it was placed on another development we've done, and we had the same issue and same request. And again, we're just following DOT regulations since we'll be entering a DOT road. The second thing is number 7, the 6-foot tall fence, which we understand. It goes along I guess if you're looking this way, that would be the left boundary. We're fine with a 6-foot tall fence. We would like for it to allow that the home builders build it and it's incorporated into the homes. So we're fine if you require the fence, but the way this is written, there's a chance that it could be interpreted that we have to build that fence before the lots can even be sold to the builder. But we're fine to say that the builder is required to put in the fences. And the last thing, which will require probably some questions, is the request for an ordinance waiver. And I have some information in the packet related to that, and I take that very serious, and I've done a lot of research on that particular issue. So questions from council, public, whoever, I'd be glad to answer.
The comment that I was going to make, Kurt, deals with the traffic. I've heard repeatedly concerns about safety on Highway 19. Highway 19 has a higher volume of traffic flow, as we've talked about, than Highway 1. And whether it's a traffic light or something has to be done, being proactive and not allowing an accident to occur, and reviewing that. And I don't know where that stands in terms of who leads that conversation with SCDOT.
So I can tell you a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So we've had some preliminary conversations with the DOT and with the city traffic engineer. They can't give us a clear yes or no or what's got to be required until we have our full traffic study. We've given our preliminary numbers, and we're going to have the traffic study. So typically the way it works is you have the traffic study, and the DOT is going to dictate to us what has to be done.
Right.
They may say, we're going to slow traffic down. We're going to bring the speed limit down, or they may say you have to put in a red light, or so a little bit of that. Actually, all of that's pretty well going to be dictated to us as to what we need to do and what we have to do. Does that make sense?
But that is a state road, is that right, Stuart? Am I?
Yes, Highway 19 is a state road.
Yeah. The other roads are county roads. It's
right.
A little different. We'll be working with the county on those. But yes, the primary concern is the state road, and we understand that concern, and we will certainly address anything we need to address.
So excuse me, if I may, let's see, are you finished, Madam Mayor?
Go ahead.
So you're just, for that particular item, number 8, you're saying you'd be willing to do whatever the DOT
Yes, ma'am.
requires you to do.
Yes,
Rather than
and-
putting on it, and then maybe the DOT not saying whether that's,
Well, they may not allow it. They may say, okay, well, the city requires it, but we're not gonna let you do that because in our opinion, it's unsafe.
And,
And
and I
so-
just wanted to add, I'd like to kind of add a comment to that, that the turn lanes were actually requested by the Planning Commission. We do have some folks that get concerned about that. If SCDOT, for spacing reasons or whatever reason, decides that they shouldn't do that, they would not have to come back. We just simply say, you don't do them.
okay.
Yeah.
So you're willing to abide by whatever SCDOT says,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
what you're saying?
Mhm. Yeah, as long as we don't have to come back to council and get that,
No, they
addressed.
wouldn't.
And so, Maria, can you repeat the last part you said?
Just that if for some reason, due to spacing concerns from SCDOT or for whatever reason, they determined that the turn lanes wouldn't be allowed, they would not have to come back to you. We would just simply say, you don't have to do them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh,
Maria, given the traffic flow of that highway, there's a curve in that highway as well. Would DOT consider that as a possible, and given the speed that folks travel doing that on that corridor, and you have some children walking on that highway, I'm just thinking, giving all those things that I see, and I know that others who live on Highway 19C, I'm just puzzled with whether they would recognize all this and see that there is a need for safety, and it would be a judgmental thing for DOT.
I will say that this was part and indicated as one of our high injury networks. So, I think we mentioned in one of the conditions about the safe streets for all.
That's right.
One of the things that we would do, and we also have been in discussions with SCDOT about obviously the speeds for people coming into the city. Those have been under discussions on these high injury networks for developers. Things that have been identified would be speed feedback signs, which actually tell you people if they're going too fast. It makes people slow down. These would
does.
be things that we would request perhaps the developer to put in place along that area. We've talked with SCDOT, and basically if they have speed limit signs already posted, then the developer could flip them out to the speed feedback sign. So it's just a technique to slow people down, as well as the conversations we're having with SCDOT to potentially actually just lower the speed limit. So, all those things are part of that.
Right, they're factors.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think that speed limit's been lowered since all that development. So that, we've had a lot of conversation with staff, again, with DOT and the traffic engineer. It's certainly a realistic concern, right? So we certainly want to address whatever we need to address. We don't have a bottomless bucket of money.
Right.
But, we understand. We're going to have people pulling out on this road,
I don't think the right turn on that highway is a big issue, but the left turn headed downtown.
And they do, so they have sightline requirements, the DOT, to answer your concern earlier. They'll come out and they'll literally view it. They'll stand where the entrance is going to be, and so they don't make these judgments just simply
Right.
off a map. They really come out, drive the road, stand there, watch traffic, and they have sightline requirements.
Okay.
Where is the proposed entrance?
So proposed entrance is in that bottom end of that curve. And there's a little bit of a hill there as well, which will
It
be
is.
taken into account as well. And so let's see. So the entrance is right there. I don't know if we have the drawing with the lots on it. The entrance will be about right there.
There's entrance to the Great Oak. They have two entrances, one down below and one up above.
It is right down here, a little bit further away.
Right.
I believe that's right.
But that's on a
No,
curve.
actually, it's down here. Yeah. And I went over and met with them as well. I went over and met with Great Oaks. get some feedback there. Met with the executive director, had a meeting with the homeowners in the neighborhood.
Right.
Went over there and set up a tent, met with them. And you know, the traffic is always on any of these developments, right? It's always going to come up. But, you know, I drive that road every time I go see my parents, so I understand the concerns, absolutely. Yep.
Kurt, I have a question
Yes, ma'am.
about complying with the minimum building separation standards.
Yes, ma'am.
How does that affect let me ask you a question. Are they all multi-level homes? Or are they a mixture of single and multi-level?
It's highly likely they're all going to be two-story. You know, it's hard to build a quality, affordable home on these lots of this size without doing them two-story, you know. So we are planning on all two-story homes. We don't have a builder selected, but this developer does. I mean, they do quality developments. I've been extremely impressed by the prime developer on this project. They did come into this pretty late, and so they've been Johnny on the spot and answered. They've addressed every concern that the planning staff gave us in their comments, and they did it quickly. And so, but yeah, I mean, they're going to almost certainly be two-story homes. I will say this. We started with 160 lots, and developers switched plans. We're not happy with that situation, and this developer has steadily kind of whittled it down now to 131 lots. And so the developer code allows for a lot higher density, but they truly are trying to build a quality, walkable, not so cookie cutter development. And actually, these lots, being from 47 feet up to 67 feet, when you compare it to the one above us, which is in the county, I understand that, they're at 40 feet and 60 feet lots. So they're actually some larger lots. And when you compare it to the one in the yellow right here, those are 60-foot lots. So we actually have some larger lots than you would typically see in some of these developments, the ones next to us in particular. And so this developer is trying to have a mix of entry-level homes and some a little bit nicer homes, you know, but still affordable.
Last time we, just as information, we approved that waiver. One of the things that jumped out at me, or I mean, I don't know, I'm sure other people, is that the two-story homes were a lot smaller quantity in that development. So they were more one level, which is okay with the 15-foot requirement. And so I know we did the waiver on the two-story because it was just a smaller percentage of the homes in this particular development. So you're saying that it's pretty
likely all of them
that
will
they're
be.
all going to be two stories.
Yeah. And I can speak to that a little bit as well because I have some involvement in one of the other developments. I can't speak to both of them, but one of the other developments has all two-story homes. The one that the waiver was granted on, the one behind KJ's on Rudy York, those will all be two-story homes. But the other one absolutely may have a mix of single and.
Two other comments to make in terms of bedrooms. These units will have 3 bedrooms, am I?
Some of them will have 3 bedrooms. Probably most all of them will be 2
Okay.
at least, some larger. But again, we don't have a builder
Right, yet.
selected yet. But yes, that's typically.
And nor do you know the cost range. It's too premature to say that. Okay.
Well, so the smaller lots we want to try to get into entry level. You know, I don't know that we'll get down to that 225 mark, which is crazy to think that entry level homes are at 225, but they are. But we're very hopeful to stay well with under 300. You know, maybe even 250. But then some of the other ones will be a little more expensive.
Okay.
Probably a little step above what you see across the road.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Mayor, I have a couple questions. Mr. Hanna?
Yes, ma'am.
These are going to be constructed with fiber cement siding, is that correct?
That is our hope, but we, again, not having a builder selected, can't guarantee that. You know, we've had great deal of conversation about the space between the homes, the fiber cement versus the vinyl, and you know, our understanding is, you know, a big part of the concern is ability to fight the fires between the units. You know, no matter what the construction is, I mean, you still have to get ladders in there. So, and you know, I take this very seriously. We went into this trying to not have to ask for this waiver. I practically begged the developer not to do it, and they said, look, we'll do everything we can. So when they came back and said, look, we really have to. We don't, and they literally said, we have never run into this, okay? And I said, you're telling me you developed all over and you've never run into this? They said, no. And I said, let me research that to see how much truth there is to it.
Well,
So,
I'm
yeah,
so
so
thankful that you sent,
Right.
put,
And this-
put this in our packet, if you all
Yeah.
look at it. And we're double
Yeah.
anywhere, more than double on a
Right.
couple of them. And I think, if I'm incorrect, please correct me, Mr. Biedenbow, that these building separation standards that we have are from 1999. Is that
Yes,
correct?
they were in
Very
the
stringent.
list, they were in the original zoning ordinance, this iteration of 1999. The city's had a zoning ordinance since 1947, but I didn't go back beyond 99,
So it's
or
been
before
25
1999.
years. Well, are we to assume then these other municipalities and counties and cities care less about, you know, their?
No, obviously
on
not.
density, because if you think about it, to your point, is there's so many municipalities are a lot more dense, and then cities that are just, I mean, some cities have 10 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Right.
nothing.
Yeah. And
so, so it's very common. It's not uncommon by any means. And Chief, I welcome you to, if you want to come up and educate us on you know, your team's view. I know they're very passionate about this, and we absolutely want to be respectful of why they're passionate about it, because it's safety first, right? And
We
it's just,
understand
it's
that.
a safer
Yes.
methodology, but it is absolutely not uncommon in many other areas of the county, of the state, and of the country.
Right, and I'm out of respect for Chief, I have the utmost respect for him. The fire marshal, I baptized the fire marshal's daughter. So you think I'm not taking this serious? And that's why I've spent an inordinate amount of time trying to figure out, are we being unreasonable? You know, we as developers making this request being unreasonable, and I just don't think we're being unreasonable. I hear the concerns. I don't think they're unfounded concerns. You know, I don't think they're making it up that it's harder to fight fires, you know, but, you know, at some level, I'm just trying to find that middle ground of what's healthy for our community and still keeps our firefighters safe.
And the building material.
And the building material, it matters. I mean, it's changed a lot, even in the past 20 years.
Right. And then, Mr. Hanna, the fence thing, the way this is stated, it doesn't really say who's responsible for that fence, does it?
Yeah, yeah, and there's probably could just let it go like it is, and Mario may be able to speak to that some. I think the Planning Commission's concern is they wanted the HOA to own that fence, that portion, that back fence, which is fine. No matter who builds it, we can make sure the HOA owns that and maintains that. And there's residences along that fence, and I think that was why their request was made, which is perfectly understandable.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's uncommon for them to, for the fences to be obviously put in as the development or as the homes are being built. And that's the way we actually did with May Royal. It was very similar, yeah.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Greta Robinson. I live at 588 Union Church Lane. Primary caretaker for my elderly parents who live in front of me at 340 Union Baptist Road, and next to them where my grandma lived before she deceased at 353. Been there my whole life except for when I went off to Clemson for a little while. I've been voted the spokesman for the neighborhood. Most of us were here for the commission meeting. And I recognize some of you being there that evening.
Thank you.
We were very concerned about the density and the traffic. That left turn is definitely a big concern off Hedgefield Highway. I can't tell you how many times I've coming from work from the hospital, in Doctor's Hospital, and I'm getting off work and I'm trying to make a left turn, and a tractor trailer or somebody's just flying around that curve, and I literally just have to step on my gas and keep going because there's no time for them to stop, and I don't want to be rear-ended. I can't tell you how many times we were not invited to, and we do want to thank Mr. Hanna for inviting the neighborhood to the meeting to talk about the development. We were not invited to the other development that was built. Of course, I do understand that's in the county, which is a little different. There's no lighting. There's kids running around the neighborhood all evening long because they can't park their cars in the housing division, the HOA. They're parking on the side of the road on Williams Lane. And most of those roads are dirt because it's county, so a lot of them aren't paved. And so there's just a lot of extra traffic. And so we're just requesting as a neighborhood, we want to see progress. We want to see affordable homes. I work with people with disabilities for the last 25 years, and I want to see them be able to have home ownership and live a good life. But I also want to see it done right. I want to see our kids safe. I want to see our neighborhood safe. I want to know that when my daughter's walking from the bus stop home, that she's okay. Right. And so, those things that we put in place, traffic lights, turn signals, may seem small, but they're a large thing to us. And we want to make sure the neighborhood that most of my neighbors are very elderly. We've lived there. I mean, I literally know just about everybody in the neighborhood. And so I think that it's very important for us to maintain their safety when they're driving. Our kids, their grandkids. I was very appreciative to hear all the stipulations, because they sounded like they really listened to some of the complaints that were coming out that evening. So I appreciate it. And I made a promise that I would stand up and speak for them. So I'm doing so. And I just hope that their voices are heard, and that, I understand progress, but we have to make sure that we think about those things that are important to the people that are already living there, and that those of us that are there shouldn't be sacrificed for progress.
Thank you, Greta.
Anyone else would like to make a comment? Comment from council?
I just want to comment that, Greta, you made some very great remarks, along with strong remarks voicing the concern of the neighborhood. I know quite a few folks in the neighborhood, and I know that they, over their past decades, they've become very comfortable in the neighborhood, and this is a change, a great change. But you're concerned about the lighting, the number of folks, that newcomers that will come into the neighborhood, whether you're going to have safety. There are multiple things you're concerned about, and believe me, upon annexation into the city, we protect our citizens. Safety is number one for us. And I know that you have a developer. He's going to work with someone that represents the developer, I should say, that will work with and team with them, along with others as well. There's multiple components with this in terms of including the county in addition to the state as well, in terms of SCDOT. So working together, I still believe this very strongly teaming together, we can make almost anything work. That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Greta, excellent presentation. One thing I know about Kurt Hanna is he's a man of his word, and that's why he's been transparent with you and making sure that y'all have a voice. And if he said he's going to make sure something gets done, it's going to happen. But you do need to make sure that you hold him to it. Those things that you were talking about and asking for aren't small things. They're very significant things. So make sure that, you guys have what you need to feel safe and comfortable in your own neighborhood, because you were there first.
Anyone else like to speak?
Well, just to talk a little bit about Edgefield Highway, yes, that's South Carolina 19. I do believe, Stuart, you may know the answer to this. We've talked about in the community, not the city necessarily, because the city's not going to be able to afford to widen Edgefield Highway all the way out to I-20. But that's been a discussion in the past, has it not?
It has. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Well, Leslie would certainly.
I'm sorry.
It's her area. Yeah, I'll take Leslie above Stewart anytime. But yeah,
Not
this.
because of my age. I'm younger than those guys.
You've been here longer than all of us put together, I think. Yeah, that's being respect, quite frankly. I'm not being funny. She's a wealth of knowledge, and I appreciate Leslie more than I can tell you. But I think they'll calm the traffic, at least in this area, to 35. It does get busy. It's a busy little road. Used to not be that way, but now you get out there going to I-20 in the afternoon and think to yourself, I should have gone a different way, because it gets backed up. And I'm sure it's like that in the morning. I'm not out there in the morning that much. But I think that they would see it that way. They get upset about traffic lights, so that'll be interesting to see what they'll do with that. But I'd like to see this considered to be like Silver Bluff Road, widened to 3 lanes. That really made a difference and opened my eyes. I thought they all needed to be 4 lanes. 3 lanes is less expensive and easier to do, and would give you a left-hand turn into the subdivision, like you were saying. There's a transfer truck coming up behind me. I'd probably go all the way to Aiken and turn around and come back again, but that's because I'm a scaredy cat. Any rate, Kurt, you've put a lot of thought into this and your guys, and I appreciate that. This is something we've talked about for my 8 years up here of doing a little bit of this and making it better for everybody concerned. That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hanna. Next is first reading of an ordinance to annex 72.05 acres located at Athol Avenue, Powderhouse Connector, and South Centennial Avenue. Zone it general business and plan residential and approve the concept plan. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. It is an ordinance to annex property located at Athol Avenue, the proposed Powderhouse Connector, and South Centennial Avenue, and zone the same GB general business and PR plan residential and approve the proposed concept plan. The applicants have requested annexation of approximately 72 and 5/100 acres located on Athol and South Centennial Avenues. They are requesting that 63.15 acres be zoned as planned residential and approximately 8.9 acres be zoned as general business. The comprehensive plan future land use map assigns a residential development character to this property. This PR zoning and concept plan would be consistent with the comprehensive plan. The GB zoning would be consistent with the PC zoning of the pending Summerall development across from South Centennial that's under construction. The applicant is requesting this approval for 118 single-family detached lots, 30 single-family attached lots, and a senior living campus, which will be composed of 60 independent living cottages and a 60-bed assisted living facility. Since this meets requirements of the planned residential zoning, it must have the concept plan and be zoned planned residential. The concept plan provides 27% open space, which will comply with the minimum required of 20%. Recreation space for the fee simple lots will include sidewalks, trails, clubhouses, community garden, pickleball, and bocce courts. Tree preservation plans will be required during the civil plan reviews. The plan states that a minimum 25-foot buffer will be provided along the eastern and western property lines to screen potential residences on adjacent properties with street trees along the perimeter street frontage. Each entrance is to have a landscape median and monument sign. A waiver has been requested to reduce the 2,000 to reduce the depth of the median from 200 feet to 150 feet for the primary entrance south of the future roundabout, and that the required median be waived altogether for secondary access to the connector road. The zoning ordinance states that no single-story building shall be erected within 15 feet of another single-story building, and no multi-story building shall be erected within 20 feet of any other building. This narrative denotes a distance of 15 feet for one story and 1.5 stories, which would require a waiver. Each single-family dwelling unit shall have space for 2 off-street parking spaces. There will be attached garages. There will be 2 community clubhouses, and the assisted living facility will have adjacent parking areas. Regarding access management and extension of South Centennial will terminate within the proposed development. A second access point will be sited further east along the Powderhouse Connector Road. No access is proposed on Athol Avenue. A traffic study will be required since it does exceed 100 trips per day. The Planning Commission reviewed the request for annexation and zoning and reviewed the proposed concept plan at the October 14th meeting. All those present voted to recommend the property be annexed, zoned as requested, and that the concept plan be approved with the following conditions. First, that the requested waivers are granted to the garage standards in section 4.2.9.c.4. Second, that the required landscape entrance median depth be reduced to 150 feet for the primary entrance, and that the required median be waived for the secondary access to the Powderhouse Connector Road. 3, that the required building separations are met per the building inspector and fire marshal. 4th, that a traffic study be submitted and approved by DOT, and that the development constructs traffic mitigation measures identified as necessary. 5th, the applicant signs an agreement stating the conditions of approval within 180 days, and that 6th, that a transfer of ownership occurs within 180 days. And this is before council this evening, Madam Mayor, for first reading.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this?
So moved, Mayor.
Councilwoman Gregory made the motion.
I'll second.
Second from Councilman Girardeau. Any comments from the public? Yes, sir. How are you?
Good evening. I'm Joel Presley. My address is 180 Arrowhead Lake Road, North Augusta, South Carolina. I'm here representing the McLean family and the developer for the project. So, Mayor, council members, Mr. Biedenbow, thank you for your work and thank you for hearing our project. This is the culmination of more years than you might believe working with the McLean family to reach this point. And they've asked me to read a statement. This is a legacy property for their family, and they've asked me to read something briefly just to introduce the project. The properties presented for annexation and zoning have been in the McLean family for 62 years, purchased in November of 1963. Our parents, Fred and Mary McLean, acquired the 80-acre tract for use in Fred's farming operations, but also with the belief that the purchase was a wise investment for potential future growth in the area. Both of our parents had deep roots in Aiken and the surrounding communities, having ancestors living in the Aiken area since the early 1800s. Our parents also shared a great love for our community. Fred, a D-Day survivor, met and married our mother, Mary Taylor, soon after World War II ended. The two later owned and operated several local businesses during the years of the Savannah River Plant construction. Fred was very civic-minded and served on numerous boards locally and at the state level. He eventually became a successful farmer operating Brown and McLean Produce until his passing in 1993. Mary worked tirelessly rearing 4 children while being a supportive partner to our father. And after all 4 children had become young adults, she decided to pursue a career in real estate. Mary was a high-level producer at several firms And in 1991, she finally achieved her dream of opening her own real estate company, which she named Triple Crown Realty. Mary passed away in 2012, leaving the property to the McLean children. Several years prior to her passing, Mary was approached by the city of Aiken concerning a potential connector road that would require the city's acquisition as part of the McLean tract. In the many years since the Powder House Connector Road was first proposed and studied, we have waited with much uncertainty about when or if the project would proceed. In the meantime, we have resisted selling the property to several developers who did not share our vision for the property. Like our parents, we have a great love for our city and community. In recent years, the connector road plans began to take shape, and we entered into an agreement with the city for the property acquisition. Simultaneously, we have been working with Joel Presley for the last several years to create a well-thought-out development plan that aligns with our vision. We strongly believe that our proposal has accomplished our goal of creating a plan that will be an asset for Aiken. Thank you for your consideration. Deborah Murphy, Kathy McLean, Marianne Fry, Doug McLean. So, also, I just wanted to mention our planner that we've used on the project is Kevin Crown. Kevin and his wife, Packy, lived here in the 1980s, and Packy was the planning director here. He has 45 years of planning experience and a love for Aiken. I love and admire Aiken as well, and I'm very grateful for the way that you all conduct your affairs here. So if you have any questions about the project, I'm happy to answer.
Just wanted to thank you for bringing remarks from the family. Very, very kind.
Thank you.
Great family.
Thank you.
Well, hey, Joe. Joel and I can say, hey. Joel and I go way back. What is your timetable for the development? I know it's not going to happen overnight, so you got
6 years ago.
And I know you've been working because we've talked about it a lot.
We're site planning now and intend to submit those plans as soon as possible. If the project is annexed and approved, we would move forward immediately. We would like to break ground mid-year next year.
But all of it's not going to be done all at one time, correct?
Essentially, it will. Our development agreement with the city allows up to 600 residential units. We consciously chose not to do that, not to do a heavy multifamily type project, but instead to create a project that is anchored with the senior living and then surrounded with single family that's very active, adult friendly, walkable, intentionally designed. So it's much less dense, but it will essentially need to be developed as a whole.
Right, and that's perfectly fine. From a standpoint of how many units are in the assisted living?
120.
120 of
60
the units.
cottages, and then 60 beds in the main building.
And then for the cottages, obviously how much traffic do you anticipate coming from the actual unit? Will those be people? A lot of the units around don't have drivers.
That's right. Those 120 units, you'll see a much lower daily trip generation than you would from 120 single-family units.
Right.
Many of those people don't have cars or don't use them.
And as far as the connector road, I think it's all right in and right out. Is that not correct?
So here, the roundabout creates full access.
Right.
There is full access here. So there's a median break here. Right here. So over here, this is right in, right out.
Right. On the connector.
Ed. This is full motion. There's a median break here.
Right. Okay.
There is a right in, right out here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Off the connector road, which was my intent.
Yeah.
You're not going to be blocking traffic by trying to turn left.
That commercial parcel has a right in, right out. But
Okay.
the other residential access is full motion.
Sure.
And it lines up with the one across.
Okay. Thank you, Joel.
Let me comment. When I looked at these proposed design plans, the first thought, whoever prepared them and the McLean family, I was wondering whether they were thinking as they reviewed it over and over, would I want, I'm less prepared as if I want to live in that kind of area.
Yeah.
That is what I see in viewing this. This is something that they would want to do, given the fact that if they moved out of their homes, that's where they want to be. And really, that's where some designs, can't make it 100%, should be a representative of, would I want to live here if I had to?
It's a form of the golden rule.
It is.
And it is, and that conversation, we've had that many times with the family and the team. And, you know, there's a principle there that's a good principle to follow, but also when you do that, you create long-lasting value.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a benefit to doing it that way. It is a win-win.
Yeah.
Joel, Marianne, Doug, I just have just a couple comments. I've heard very good response from our district, District 5, regarding this project. Had a couple calls regarding it. And somebody made a comment to me that just jumped out, and they were 150% right. And this is what they said. They said this is a perfect continuum for retirement after Woodside. So that's kind of where their heads went, is, you know, they live in Woodside, they're busy upkeeping their home and stuff, and this is a great next phase for them. And I was like, you know what, you're right, because if you think about our community, and we are an aging community, this is right up their alley with the pickleball, with the walkability, with everything. So that's something that, you know, people are already looking into. So I just thought that was neat comments I wanted to share with you. And this was at one of the coffee sessions. They just talked about your project, and it was neat to hear the great feedback.
Thank you. We've heard the same thing. And the 150 single-family units are very much oriented for people that are completely active. These are people that maybe they want to lock and leave their home and travel for a month.
Mm-hmm.
They're very active, but also it's convenient to the retail, all of the exciting things that are happening there and across Whiskey Road. There are and will be things to do for those folks. But then when they reach the point where they need a little more help, they can age in place, and it's all part of one community. And the last thing I'll say is the single-family units can pay a fee and have the amenities of the main senior living facility, the fitness center, the pool, all of the things that go on there. They can opt into that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel. Any other comments from the public? Any more comments from council? All those in favor? I'm opposed. The rest of the motion passed. I think it's a lovely project. I just wish it was somewhere else. Thank you. Next is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to authorize execution of a modified lease agreement and fixed base operator agreement with Aiken Aviation Enterprises Incorporated for the Aiken Regional Airport. Mr. Beatonville.
Thank you. It is an ordinance authorizing the modification of lease terms to Aiken Aviation Enterprises, Inc. for the premises known as Aiken Regional Airport. We do have a lease modification on an existing lease that passed in October 2020. The proposal expands and sort of squares up the leased area. It adds, if you look at the diagram on the screen, the blue adds about an acre to the leased area. The proposed modifications also extend the lease an additional 5 years. And there are some city tea hangars in the area, and an area that's proposed for a new hangar long term. We had a discussion earlier in the meeting, earlier in the day about this with council, and we have this modification in front of you this evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
And I do want to, this also has been done in concert with the fixed base operator and was approved by the General Aviation Committee with their recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept?
So moved, Mr.
Council,
Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Price made the motion,
And I'll second, Madam Mayor.
and Councilwoman Broll second. Comments from the public? Any comments from council? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Motion passed. Next is first reading and public hearing of an ordinance to adjust the city's annual budget for several items, including a public services HVAC replacement, mosquito truck replacement, and the purchase of a parking lot adjacent to the Center for African American History, Art, and Culture. Mr. Beedman.
Thank you. It is an ordinance amending the budget of the city of Aiken for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30, 2026 for the General Fund, Solid Waste Fund, and Franchise Fee Fund. We have several things. We first have replacement of the mosquito truck. Part of that cost is offset through insurance proceeds. We were involved in a collision that wasn't the city's fault. Also, the primary HVAC unit servicing the Public Services Building on DuPont, which is approximately 50 years old, needs full replacement from the Building Depreciation Fund. And as we discussed, the First Baptist Church would like to purchase, is consolidating some of their properties, and they approached the city about us purchasing the parking lot that we currently have a lease with them on. We entered into a lease with First Baptist in 2011, and it was extended in 2021 for 5 years. It runs till, I believe, July 1st of 2026. First Baptist would like to, again, they approached us about purchasing the parking lot. We did make investments 15 years ago, putting in curb and gutter and paving and striping and city lighting. And frankly, it is used quite a bit by the Center for African American History, Art, and Culture, a city-owned building. So it makes a lot of sense. While generally we tend to try to stay away from purchasing additional property now, but in this case, I do believe we don't want to run the risk of having the property sold to someone else who could, in theory, put up a small house or make the parking lot not accessible, since it is the primary means of parking for the facility. So we have these items in the budget adjustment this evening for council's consideration.
Mayor, I believe a lot of the valuation of First Baptist came from my office, from my partner, so I believe I should recuse myself.
Thank you so much for doing that. Do we have a motion from?
I'm so moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Broll made the motion, and a second from?
I second.
Councilman Diggs. Councilwoman Sarli. Any comments from the public? Any comments from our council?
Madam Mayor, it makes sense, all of this, but particularly buying the parking lot, because city does own the African American Museum, and it would be very short-sighted of us not to have that, because that's where people park, and we have lots of events there, and it's becoming more and more popular, so I think this is a wise move.
And as a way of transparency, they own additional property adjacent, and I asked if we were interested, and I didn't even bring it to council. I declined. We just wanted the parking lot and not the improved parcel adjacent to it.
All those in...
I'm sorry.
Would you like to say something?
That's on the same.
No, ma'am, it's a different parcel.
Lex, I was looking at Lex having signed this memo, and replacing the vehicle involved was $36,415.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Is that a new vehicle?
It will be.
Wow, that's a good bargain. You're in the.
It will not have a lot of features.
That's all right. It's still a good bargain in this.
Pretty basic small pickup truck.
In this climate, Stuart, 36,000 is a pretty good deal.
It is, and you know, I don't know, I didn't check, but I would imagine we probably use state contract as a guide and worked off of that.
Yes, sir.
It's got a big rubber band.
So would they
You're a great shopper.
house, or is that going to be?
I believe they are marketing it for sale.
Okay.
Okay, all those in favor?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you. Motion passed. Councilman Girardeau has recused himself from the vote. Thank you. Do you want to?
Yes. Lex is getting.
Finally, we have first reading of an ordinance approving certain economic development incentives for a residential development to be developed by Van Rock Holdings and a commercial development to be developed by VP Riverside LLC. Mr. Bienbow.
Thank you. It is an ordinance authorizing certain economic development incentives pursuant to this ordinance, which will be numbered, should it pass, of the City of Aiken Code of Ordinances for a project developed by VP Riverside LLC, Rutland Place, approving an economic development inducement and incentive agreement and other matters related thereto. We do have adjusted numbers based on additional information. But I do understand, I guess, the numbers there's still some disagreement. If you look at what's at your place, we've got now development numbers of $421,441 for the residential component and $59,455 of the commercial component, paid in installments over 5 years, which would be for the residential component $84,288, and in the commercial $11,891. Regardless of actual fees paid, total rebate related to the project for residential would not exceed $85,000 a year, commercial $12,000, based on the figures provided. I know just from indirect communication I've received from staff that there are, I guess, again, some additional information we need to try to make sure we get the right amount, but that is the number we have currently. And this is before council this evening for first reading, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Is there a motion for this?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Price made the motion, and a second from Councilwoman Brohl. And yes, sir.
Good evening. Charles Johnson, 651 Sweetwater Road, North Augusta, South Carolina. I represent VP Riverside. We're the master developer. We worked diligently to come up with the numbers that we submitted in our application, working on the fees, the building cost with the developer, and we submitted our application on May 1st. We received comments back on August 29th, the day before Labor Day, saying that some of the fee structure has changed. So we went through and contacted the various departments and made sure that we understood exactly the fee structure, and we resubmitted on October 8th our application. We were actually surprised when we saw the agenda for this meeting. All the information in there, the numbers that were reflected, also the document that was attached, that was our original, supposed to be our original application, all had incorrect numbers on them, meaning our application was actually changed and published in this agenda incorrectly. Since then, as mentioned, we received a memo at 5 p.m. today saying they were amending the numbers. However, these numbers are still incorrect, but there are a few other items within the documents that, that don't add up for us. And specifically, throughout the document, it calls for Exhibit A and B, which are noted on there. A represents a proposal or application that was supposedly submitted by us, and those numbers are incorrect, and it's referenced 9 times. Exhibit B actually says this is our signed application, and again, the numbers had been changed by city staff unbeknownst to us until we saw this agenda. The new proposal, although it addresses the 2 asterisks at the bottom, originally it said that the reimbursements were capped at a certain amount, and it didn't say yearly, which was very confusing. So they did add a /YR on that addendum today at 5 o'clock. However, in the narrative, it says that fees paid, total reimbursement cap of $85,000 for residential and $12,000 for commercial. It does not say yearly on it, so it's a little confusing. Also, on page 289A, it states in aggregate, the total reimbursement is a certain amount, which is the old amount, but it doesn't say yearly as well. So we just wanted to make sure, when we asked the staff about it, they said, oh no, it's yearly. However, the verbiage in there is definitely not the same as it being paid out on a yearly basis. It says aggregate, not to exceed, those types of languages. So we want to make sure that that we're on board with the right payout. Also on the first exhibit, they had 3 years as the payout rate. And the formula actually had 5 years, which is correct. Later in the document, it says 5 years. So I just wanted to make sure that we understood that the agenda item, Exhibit A, where it says 3 equal payments for subsequent 5 years, that's really 5-year payout, not 3-year. That's page 284 of the agenda item. Also in the page 289A, where it states the aggregate is the total amount that's due, it also flip-flops the numbers for commercial and residential, so those are backwards in that document. You know, this program is made for economic, incentives, and we've got Tractor Supply, who's already broken ground in that area, should be open first of the year. The 265 residential units will be breaking ground after the first of the year. We've got substantial interest in the commercial pieces that we have on the front of Rutland. And, we respectfully ask that you approve this application tonight and allow us to work with staff to get the right numbers and verbiage in here to bring to you for second reading and final approval. Since this ordinance is really, it pays back 50% of the total fees paid by the developer over 5 years, by having a number that limits us to a dollar value is really punitive to the developer. It's not punitive to the city if the number's low, because if the developer pays more, they just don't pay them back more. However, if the number's too low and the developer pays more, they're limited on what they can get back. So with that being said, having our numbers in there, which we feel are absolutely correct and we're willing to defend that, would not be punitive to the city. But if we went with the lower number that was submitted, and that is the cap on it, it's certainly punitive to the developer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can I?
This is strange.
Can I say something?
Yes,
Or
of
do I
course.
need to wait for comment?
No, you're fine.
Were you talking to him? So.
Well, I'm asking permission first, yeah. So,
You're asking him.
this seems really, really cumbersome and confusing, and I want to apologize just because it should be that confusing. So I feel that your ask is very fair, where you guys can go back to the drawing board and work to process this accurately. It seems like I don't know where the disconnect is. I can't speak to that, but hearing this today for the first time obviously is right now. I'm just sitting here going like, oh my gosh. I don't even know where to start in my questions. So I personally think that it would be your request is appropriate, that if we were to approve this in first reading and take it back to the drawing board where you can go and work with staff and come up, whatever the ordinance says, whatever the formula is, whatever is the route, I think you got to get back on it, right?
Yes,
And if staff can present that to us prior to second reading in a clear manner where all parties agree on that outcome and it follows ordinance and everything, then we obviously can move forward. But I'm gonna, obviously it's up to our team, but I feel considering the confusion that it's a pretty good ask, because I want to know too.
Sure.
That makes
and I actually
sense.
have copies of what we actually submitted. So if you look at the last part of the packet, which is our signed application, everything is correct that we submitted except for the last page, which is the actual table with the numbers on it, which city staff changed. I do have copies for everyone if you wanted them with the actual numbers that we submitted in the application.
Yeah, because when I read the packet, I'm reading for as face value, right? As I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, so this is what they're getting, this is what we're paying, and all that. So if you're telling us, this isn't correct, then we need to figure that out. And I do recommend that that's a fair ask, and I hope we move in that direction. Would that require a what do you call it? A change or
revision in our motion?
Nothing special would be required if I'm understanding the request correctly. We're simply being asked to pass this ordinance on first reading.
Right.
Let staff and the applicant get together between first reading and second reading and see if they can't come back with a document that both parties agree
Yeah.
is
Okay.
the correct number.
Clarifies
So
and all
you
that.
could just pass this on first reading and staff would understand that's their direction.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I don't see dates on the one that I'm looking at, Mr.
Right
Walsh.
here.
But I think that could be clarified between now and
Right,
second reading.
you can put another page in terms of.
I'm okay with doing this at the first reading and getting it, but I would like to see what the original one was. We have this one, and then when you come for the next time, the corrected one, so that I know what I'm looking at.
Sure. Would you like to have what we submitted
Sure.
now?
Just hand-
Here's one for you too.
When he mentions things changed, we took the numbers and talked to relevant staff in building inspections and plan and in engineering that calculates these. So I think I want to clarify it wasn't changed because we wanted to. I think it was based on additional information. But yes, we can have the original documents, corrected documents based on staff from neighborhood services and economic development working with the applicant to get a number, to get the documents that, like Mr. Smith said, that I guess both sides agree is a fair number.
Excuse me, I believe there might be some confusion on the way staff calculated. If you put the fees on a $50 million building, just a single building, it is much different than for a $50 million project with 265 homes, because the permits escalate with homes based on value. So that drives the number significantly differently on those two calculations. So if you just plug in the 50, it's it's a lot lower than if you calculate we're building 265 homes, because the way the permitting fees escalate on the value of the homes. It's,
No, I don't think a mistake was made.
Yeah, same.
we just know something's different, and
I think it's a difference of opinion. Ms. Craig, you and I talked about the calculation. If you could come up and elaborate the $50 million of one parcel versus multiple.
Good evening. In the beginning, when I spoke with Mr. Todd Glover, who is not here this evening, was his intention the numbers on the housing changed. In the beginning, it was additional housing. I believe it was on his original application, it was 79 houses, and then it decreased. So they added in sewer tap fees. We do not include sewer tap in residential or commercial. We include sewer, the impact, but not the tap. So those were removed. I met with Mr. Glover several times. He had told me he talked with our planning department, that he spoke with our engineering department, and he also spoke with our building code department. When I found out he was adding his own numbers based on the fee sheets and what they were doing. They only have one commercial building in right now, which is Tractor Supply, which is almost complete. So you have to estimate the commercial buildings because you don't know what's going to go in there. So you're estimating. You don't know the size. You don't know the type of commercial that's going to go in. In the residential, you're adding the meters in the water. So we took the building permits, which is going to be your building permits based on your building inspection permits, and then your engineering permits and your inspection, then your plan check fees from engineering and from planning, and then your impact fees, which includes your water and your sewer, and then your water meter fees, and then the business license fees. So those were the fees that were included for the residential, and then the separate for the commercial. And as far as the 3-year from the 5-year, I do apologize, because when in the past, we always did 3-year, over a 3-year period, based on the total amount. Because of the amount that they would have been getting back, I spread it over a 5-year period. So that was my fault on that. And I explained that to Mr. Glover. And I told him that I would work with him, and I did send him the changes today, and I did call him, but he did not answer. I left him a message, and I did send him the new figures. He wanted everything to go in for this evening. So that's what I wanted to do for him, was to get it in for this evening. And so I told him when he came back in town, I would work with him so it can go in for a second reading.
Okay, perfect. So we appreciate your comments, Sabina, and also Ms. Craig, sorry. And we appreciate your just your integrity and apologizing for that error. We appreciate that. And it seems like you guys are on the track that I think we are suggesting to take it to the drawing board, get it all wrapped up, bring us the information that Ms. Broll recommended that we be presented with, and hopefully we can move this on to second reading. Okay. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Comments from council? Any more? So we're discussing leaving it the way it is, and it will be corrected before the second reading.
Yes, that's right. We'll bring it back for a second reading with the corrected numbers.
Okay, all those in favor? Motion passed. Thank you. Now for petitions and requests. The first item is approval of a resolution authorizing the reallocation of the American Rescue Plan Act funds. Mr. Biedenboim.
Yes, we do. Our ARPA funds were designated for infrastructure. What is the term? The term we used was infrastructure improvements and extensions, and we allocated money for the South Centennial Waterline project. But what we want to do is just reallocate these balances of the funds for an accounting perspective. In talking with our auditor and kind of looking at the funds proper, we want to reallocate or ask that we approve the reallocation of those funds for other projects, because we had a deadline to obligate the money of December 31st, but due to 2024, due to the impacts of Hurricane Helene, we could not complete those procurement requirements. However, in talking to our auditors and others, we can reallocate monies to eligible utility service extension projects that were obligated already by December 31st or completed. It does not require a budget adjustment. It's just an accounting maneuver, so we can ensure we remain in compliance with the ARPA by formally designating these funds for qualifying projects that have been obligated by the deadline. So you have this resolution in front of you for consideration.
Thank you. Is there a motion for this resolution?
So move, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Brohl made the motion.
Second.
Second from Councilwoman Diggs. Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Next is consideration of the naming of the Powder House Connector and associated roundabouts. Mr. Biedenboim.
Thank you. We have discussed this. We just had a project for consideration off of this road. This project has been on the books for 19 years, and I guess has really been greenlit for about 3 years. And we've had several discussions about naming the road. Now that September 30th is passed and all the money has been obligated, federal, state, and local, we are recommending that the road be based on council consideration, that we name the roadway that is we've been calling as a placeholder Powder House Connector Tribute Parkway, to recognize those public safety, police, and fire officers in our history that have lost their lives in the line of duty, and that the two roundabouts or traffic circles that were being constructed, the one closest to Whiskey Road and where South Centennial will terminate into the roadway, be named after Master Corporal Sandy Rogers, and that the roundabout up near the intersection with Powder House and Old Powder House Road be named in honor of Master Public Safety Officer Scotty Richardson. And this is in the form of a consideration, just a simple verbal motion and a show of hands for a vote, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Is there a motion for this consideration?
I so move, Madam Mayor.
Okay, Councilwoman Burrell made the motion and Councilwoman Gregory seconded the motion. Any comments from the public? Comments from our council? Can you note about, please, the roundabout? I thought that was very interesting. The family of the Richardsons.
Yes, I'm told that the widow of Master Public Safety Officer Richardson currently lives in Powder House Landing, which is, within eyeshot of where that roundabout would be constructed.
Thank you. Thought that was a nice fitting thing. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. We now have a new name, Tribute Parkway.
Yes, and it's already pre-approved by the naming authorities.
Let's do some paving.
Yes, and the project, we'll get an update at the January 12th meeting, which I know some of you probably won't attend.
I will tune in.
We will get an update, but generally speaking, the first phase should be completed calendar year 2026, and the second phase should start around the time the first phase is completed.
Thank you. We now open the floor to public comments again. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker for a total of 30 minutes. Okay, we will now move on to items from the city manager this evening.
Thank you. I have several. First, over the weekend we had two events. I want to just briefly note we had approximately 3,500 attendees at our trunk or treat at Citizens Park. We received a nice commendation, which I just did not want to wait to put in next issues and updates. The South Carolina U.S. Tennis Association staff and players were extremely complimentary of our staff for the tennis tournament that was this weekend in Aiken on our condition of our courts and the condition, that we consistently maintain during the event, the prep of the clay courts. Also, a reminder, the Christmas tree lighting is December 4th. It's on a Thursday this year, not on a Friday. And that will be in the Newberry Street Festival Center. And just as another item, I received some news today from Neil Shaw, the former owner of the Hotel Aiken, that his father passed away the other day. And anyway, that was very sad to hear. He was a long-time businessman here in Aiken, did a lot of good work. So anyway, those are my announcements today. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting? That would be Gregory and Councilman Woltz second the motion. All those in favor? Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.